And all I'm gonna say is it was a blast. It was fun researching and working on my inventions, and it wasn't all bad. I put a lot of effort for nothing, but I learned throughout, and I had fun. It was a creative process that I enjoyed, and I love science, and it was not all for loss. I personally grew as a person, and that's what I'm gonna say as a positive on this overall experiences. I did at least study science and medicine and my patented some inventions, and I still had a lot of fun doing it and kept me busy and kept me away from bad stuff. Right, got me sober. With all my inventions, my ideas, I actually got sober and I stopped drinking, and that's one thing I'm very proud. I've been sober for what, like 10 months, 11 months, I guess. I drank once or twice within that time frame. So there was some good about it. And, you know, if it wasn't a success, it's not such a big deal. Ultimately, it's not my fault, and it's all on some bad people, right? So I'm gonna just leave it on a positive note that maybe one day someone will wake up and actually try my work, and maybe one day it's actually gonna make something matter, whether or not I get something out of it. Because at the end of the day, I'm never gonna get anything out of it by the force of things, and it's fine. I accept it, and I'm just not gonna cry anymore about spilled water. You know, uh, I worked hard, and I'm very proud of all I did. And if it wasn't a success, it's not my fault. And those that went against me and all, well, at the end of the day, something will eventually be karmic, and I can't accuse, I can't force things, I can't try to teach, I can't change someone's behavior. All I know is karma usually happens when you least expect it, and I don't want wish bad against people, even bad people, because at the end of the day, that's just not who I am. But all I will say is karma does happen eventually, and if they keep doing kind of stuff like this, something will eventually happen, and they will learn a lesson out of it. And it's everybody involved, everybody in the world. It's basic principle of life. Good or bad person, you go through lessons in life. You know what I mean? Everybody goes through a learning curve in life, and what I learned is quit trying, quit putting so much effort. When you don't even have a chance at all. You know, Gary is right. I learned that. Quit putting so much effort in something you're never gonna be even able to achieve overall. You know, at the end of the day, I was not a success because people overall are cruel throughout the world, and I'm not gonna spend the whole rest of my life pointing fingers. And all I'm gonna say is to the good people that would have benefited from my inventions and my research, I am very sorry because I wanted to help, and I understand there will be some people out there who will be disappointed. A lot of kids in town were really hoping I was a success. They just really wanted to see a real life dinosaur, for example. I had a lot of old people, with all due respect, talk to me about Halo and how they wish it would work, and uh, overall, most people in town wanted these things to happen, and sometimes it only just takes one bad person to piss you off. Uh, so I'm sorry for the people who were really hoping my inventions become a thing, because I understand, most of you will probably hear some news about it soon that everything is just canceled in the can, is what it is. And to the bad people, if you think you've won, if you can laugh all you want in the world, everybody who tried to hurt me in my life, you can laugh all you want, but at the end of the day, I'm still a better person than you because I would never try to hurt someone who's weak. And if you're like that, I feel sorry for you. You're just one very pathetic person. And I feel horrible and sorry for you because if you would see the truth, if you would just learn a little better behavior for once in your miserable lives, if you would just try for once to do the right thing, the whole world would be a lot better. And you refuse to listen. No, good, sleepy. And like I said, it's not up to me to decide what you do. It's not up to me to judge you. It's not up to me to tell you how you should live your life. And honestly, it's not up to me to fix the world. It's like I said, I'm supposed to technically have footnoted and be able to fund anything I want. But at the end of the day, I'm not getting a penny, and I'm funding companies that used me as a slave to get out of bankruptcy, and they make money, and I have nothing for my inventions. So the government can tell you anything you want. GTF2 can tell me anything they want. Look at me. It's been almost a year, and nothing even happened for me. I still live on disability. My family's still there. I still live in this apartment, and not as it's necessarily that bad, but I don't see anything happen in my inventions. It is where it is. It's just like I gave up. You know what I mean? Deep down, it's just you will see on the news, you will hear about it, and I might as well be honest and upfront. I'd rather not continue, period, just because there's so much evil in the world, anyways. And I know even if I reprint my family, somehow someone will try to kill him anyways. And it's not like it's gonna happen anyways, because honestly, I'm being lied to just like everybody else. It is what it is. You think you think you matter, you think you make a difference, and when you realize you're actually not even doing anything, it's like it hurts. All the efforts I put in my inventions, it does hurt a little. I really cared. I really wanted to make some things happen, but I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life worrying and crying. A few days from now, I'll be fine. But anyways, so that's about that for now, viewers, and I hope that this is broadcasted over TV. If it's true that I'm showing on TV, it's a little truth that you should learn, through it all. You should just learn to be better people, in my opinion, because you never help each other. You only seek to stab each other. You only steal from each other. You only kill each other. You only rape each other. And not saying everybody on the planet is like that, but in general, that's all I see. All I see, and it's sad because this community mostly wanted, this town mostly wanted my research, and if it was not a success, it was not up to them or myself. And it's not up to me to fix everybody's bankruptcy. It's not up to me to fix everyone's problems. It's not up to me to feed everybody when I can't even provide for my own self. You put yourselves in your situation. You didn't know business, and you're all in the same boat. At the end of the day, you refuse to diversify. You refuse to properly invest in something that's worthwhile, and you refuse to even, make an arrangement with another company or sell when it's time. You don't know business, and even if at the end of the day I'm not a success, I'm still a better investor than you would be, because I would have diversified, I would have funded, I would have invested, I would have been a better success if I would have. But at the end of the day, does it matter? Look at who's making money. Again, people still using me for a little bitch, and honestly, I'm tired. Honestly, I'm quite frustrated with the outcome of this, and I just decided, you know what, it's enough. I woke up this morning, and I tried to put a little effort into working and working out some sort of plan, and I just realized, overall, it's enough. Even God told me over the ghost box, son, stop. I want you to stop. When God tells you just stop, it's not worth it. You realize, yeah, maybe you got a point, overall. When God tells you you should just stop because it's not going nowhere, so, you should listen.
Yeah, stop.
Exactly that.
Sweet.
And I just wanted to leave a, a video stating, why I'm not proceeding. Overall, it's just because there's a lot of criminals in the world, and it is what it is. And I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life bitching. Actually, I would like to find some new content to put on my channel, just to keep me busy. Although I don't have any concrete ideas, but I'll try to figure something. I'll try to see if I can find something to post, I guess. So it won't be the last video for me. I still believe there's a lot of good people in the world. Maybe not all are good, but I know there's still some good people, and I'm hoping to at least voice that out. And I believe in kindness. And if you can't act kind, you should be shot. Uh, that's my honest opinion. If you can't be a kind person, why even keep you alive? If you would like to molest children and kill babies and you like to kill women, why even exist? You don't deserve to live. That's my honest opinion. If you can't be a good person, you should be shot. That's my opinion. You may agree or disagree. You have the right of your own opinion. But myself, with all I've been through, all my baggage, my experience, my work fields, I've seen too much crap. And I can safely say my own opinion is there's too much evil in this world, and till people stand up, nothing will change. And that's the thing. You people, you refuse to actually stand up when it's time to stand up. You refuse to actually fight, even against your own government sometimes when it's time. You refuse to do the right thing or even fight for what's right. You follow what the leader is telling you. Because at the end of the day, you should always question what your leader's doing, because look at what's going on in the world. You would rather support your leader in murders, and I'm not blaming everybody. All I'm saying is, sometimes you should stand up for what is right. And if you can't stand up when it's time, don't blame others for what happens, because you were ultimately at fault. And, I was trying to do something very special and just look at how people reacted and just look at what people were doing. It's what it is. But at least most people in town were encouraging. And I want to say thank you to Edmundston for encouraging me in my work, minus one person who actually trash talked me, you know. But the majority of the town did at least want these things to happen. So I want to say to Edmundston, I'm sorry and thank you very much, for all your support. And, overall, maybe one day someone else in like 50 years will find these videos or find some proof of it and maybe make it a reality. I don't know. I will basically be cheated again, just like Tesla would have been. But at the end of the day, I would hope that someone would at least continue my research with proper funding when it's proper timing, right? Even if I don't earn anything out of all my hard work, I would still hope better for people in general, on the contrary to majority of you. And it's sad, really. I keep sacrificing and look at you. You're stuffing your faces and you're complaining about little fucking problems. And all I had in my life were fucking huge ass problems, and I never really had a chance to live. And did I complain? You complained that Justin Trudeau wanted to fund Ukraine some money to fight against Russia instead of actually signing up for the military to go fight. Innocent women in Ukraine were being blown up by missiles, and you were crying that Justin Trudeau was giving out money. It's just an example. That's the system we're in.